And Shalom, Shalom. Call hello, Yahweh Bashem Abishai, Bashem Kakwadash. Double honors unto the apostles and the elders. Salutations to all my fellow laborers doing this work in truth and sincerity, risking their lives and their freedom to do so. To the hopeful elect, the confusion of face brother joins unto our rank. The Akwap that are listening and learning, to them I say Shalom. This is your brother Malcolm coming at you with another lesson in truth and sincerity. All right, they prophesying in tongues. These are the brothers down in Peru, in Lamas, Peru. All right, or Yamas, Peru. And this is prophesied that will happen in the last days, man. That that we'll be prophesying basically around the world, in the four corners of the earth. And this truth has gone out to the four corners of the earth, man. It's circled the globe, man. And the 12 tribes are waking up, and this is not a so-called black thing. That whole calling the people of black, that was all part of a conspiracy, a plan, to hide who we were, the hidden ones. So without any further ado, let's get into some scriptures. We're going to go to Psalms 83, all right, and read about this plot. And this is Psalms 83:1, and it reads, "Keep not thou silence, O power, hold not thy peace, and be not still, O power. For lo, thine enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up their head." All right? So the Most High has enemies, who the world ignorantly calls God and Jesus, has enemies. And they have a people, and their people are the Israelites, and their Israelites, their people, have enemies. All right? Verse 3, the point. "They have taken crafty counsel against thy people, and consulted against thy hidden ones." The Israelites were going to be hidden, not called by what they were. They were hidden in plain sight for eons. All right. Well, I wouldn't say for eons, but for quite some time now. They have been hidden. It's been well over 1,000 years, man, that they have been, not called by their names, not called by who they are. All right, given the false title of Hispanic, of Peruvian, like the brother here on the screen, and his cameraman, who all over the place. We gotta get those brothers to stand. But these we'll call Negroes and Latinos and Puerto Ricans and Native Americans and Mexicans, all these names which were prescribed to us by our conquering enemies, the Edomites, who were the head of this crafty council. All right? As a matter of fact, let's continue to read. Let's verse 4. And so back in Psalms 83, "They have said, come, let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may no more be in remembrance." All right? And the head, and it's going to name, and names them off, and the first name mentioned is Edom, the Ishmaelites. All right? Well, second, of Moab and the Hagarenes. These were some of the enemies. And it even tells you Amalek, the Amalekites. All right? Which are the head tribe of the nation of Edom. And Edom is ruling the world right now. All right? These Edomites, the earth was given into the hands of the wicked. They covered the faces of the judges thereof. They hid them. The Edomites covered up the faces of the judges, the true judges, which are the Israelites, and labeled them Hispanic, Latino, Native American, Negro, Black, Jamaican, Haitian. They labeled them all these false names and hid them in plain sight. All right? It tells you in the Apocrypha, in Maccabees, is it First Maccabees 3 and 48? I'm pretty sure it's First Maccabees. Let's go to that. All right, and it gives you really detail about Cesare, a breakdown in chapter 14, if I'm not mistaken. But for time's sake, I'm gonna go to the one in 3 and 48. Okay. Because you have to take into account what was going on at that time. The Israelites were driven out of their land. The land was full of heathen. And when they went back to the temple, this is what they found. And it says, this is 1 Maccabees 3 and 48. And I'm going to start at verse 45. All right, and it reads, Now Jerusalem lay void as a wilderness. There was none of her children that went in or out. So it was full, because why? You have all these heathens in Jerusalem now. You know, the wicked, the earth had been given into the wicked. First Maccabees, the Edomites took over Greece, start calling themselves Greece. Rome rose up out of there, still the sons of Edom. All right, and the Israelites were scattered, serving slavery, being citizens, being in the military, being merchants, calling themselves by Greek and Roman names. Okay? First Maccabees 3 and 45. Now Jerusalem lay void as the wilderness. There was none of her children that went in or out. The sanctuary also was trodden down, and the aliens kept a stronghold. The heathen had their habitation in that place, and the joy was taken from Jacob, and the pipe with the harp had ceased. So these heathens were sitting in the Holy Land, in the holy city, in our temples, and etc., etc. All right? Verse 46. Wherefore the Israelites assembled themselves together and came to Mashpah over against Jerusalem, for Mashpah was a place where they prayed aforetime in Israel. And see, that's the one thing that these wacky-tacky Christians and these Israeli imposter Jewish people don't. They either have cognitive dissonance, or they just don't want to accept the fact that the third temple, the temple is the people. That Israel is a people before it's a place. And the third temple is being built before your eyes. You're looking at a part of it. You're looking at a part of the temple right there on the screen. Teaching in the name of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai in his tongue. The tongue in the land where he was scattered to. All right? And he's prophesying. He's at the gates of the nobles, man. Okay? Then verse 47, then they fasted and put on sackcloth and cast ashes upon their hands and rent their clothes and laid open the book of the law wherein the heathen had sought to paint the likeness of their images. So when they open up the book of the law, of the law of their people, they saw things like this. That's Cesare Borgia. All right, an Edomite who posed for and became the new face of who the world ignorantly, very stupidly, and ridiculously referred to him as Jesus Christ, when the Lord was a Hebrew and had a Hebrew name of the tribe of Judah. And the letter J doesn't exist in the Hebrew alphabet. It didn't exist in the Greek alphabet. And it wasn't even in the American alphabet, in the English alphabet, Salakia, until the year 1634. All right? The letter J, the sound of the J, is a new sound in the English language, the newest sound, created in 1634. And the Lord was alive almost 1,700 years before that. All right? Facts. Let's go to the book of Numbers. This is Numbers 23 and 9. It says, From the top of the rocks I see him, and from the hills I behold him. Lo, the people shall dwell alone, and shall not be reckoned among the nations. They're not going to recognize or accept the Israelites or call them by that. And wherever Jake is, they usually live alone. No one wants to live around them, especially Judah, man. And Esau has policies in places to make sure that Judah stays in the ghettos. Matter of fact, even in their dictionaries, they tell you the definition of ghetto. It says it's a place where the Jews dwell. Right? Don't know Israelis live in the ghetto, not here in America. All right? They own all the slums. They own the buildings that the people live in America, in the worst neighborhoods. They own the buildings, the stores. All right, I've been working for them for a long time, man. I even had one that used to ask me to go with her to collect rent. You know, So they don't fit the curses, man. And that's one thing that Christians don't do. They do not acknowledge, nor do they talk about, or nor do they read about and teach about the prophecies. And the spirit of the Lord is the spirit of prophecy, man. You know? The spirit of the Lord is the spirit of prophecy. Matter of fact, let's get that. This is Revelation 19 and 10. So true men of the Lord will be occupied in prophecy. This is Revelation 19 and 10. And I fell at his feet to worship him. And he said unto me, see thou do it not. I am thy fellow servant and of thy brethren. And I have the testimony of Yahushai. Worship power, for the testimony of Yahushai is the spirit of prophecy. So you're supposed to be prophesying about what's going to happen and connecting it to the past, to the present, and to the future. That's what prophets do. Yeah, we got to get this brother a camera. A camera stand. Young brother on the camera all over the place. Hey, but it don't. Hey, but the word is going out though, man. The message is being heard. Okay. Let's get a couple more scriptures. All right, on the highways and byways. All right, and look at that. They in the ghetto, man. Okay. This is Hosea 1 and 10. And it reads, yet the number of the children of Israel shall be as the sand of the sea. When you number all the Latin nations, the Negro nations, the Native American nations, and then you consider our scattered family that are among all the heathens, looking like the heathens, we're innumerable. All right, we're innumerable. Hosea 1 and 10. Yet the number of the children of Israel shall be as the sand of the sea, which cannot be measured nor numbered. And it shall come to pass that in the place where it was said unto them, ye are not my people, there it shall be said unto them, ye are the sons of the living power. You cannot match this prophecy, this scripture up to the impostor Jewish people. You can't do it. Because according to them, they've always been the Israelites. And the Bible clearly says that the Israelites would be cut off from their heritage. The crafty counsel was put together against them. All right? And they were hidden. And that they would wake up in the end of days, in the latter days, and proclaim and profess they will come back to remembrance of who they are. And then what was that? Psalms 85 and 11. It says in the earth. Let me see if I can grab that real quick. Psalms 85 and 11. Truth shall spring out of the earth, and righteousness shall look down from heaven. And those are the relics, all the relics that were left behind, that are connected to this man on the screen, that are connected to me, that are connected to the so-called Negroes. All right, relics that prove that we once lived in the land of Israel, that we were speaking, reading, and writing Hebrew. When you look at the manifest of the names of the slaves that came over to America, more than half of them had Hebrew names. So why would a bunch of Africans have Hebrew names? See, they don't tell the truth about how they migrated to Africa after the fall of Rome in 70 A.D. They conveniently leave that portion of history out. Okay? This is Zephaniah 3 and 19. And it reads, behold, at that time I will undo all that afflict thee, and I will save her that halteth, and gather her that was driven out, and I will get them praise and fame in every land where they have been put to shame. And that's what you're witnessing now. We're going through the shame, and all right, but low key we're famous, and that fame is only going to get greater. Call halal Yahweh Bashem Shai Bashem Wakak Wadash Wa Abba Babal.